Hello, and I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Warrenville Public Library District Board of Trustees. It's Wednesday, February 16th, 2022 is 7:01 p.m. And I'd like to take a roll call. Trustee Pika. Present. Trustee Redzika.
Present.
Trustee Warren.
Present.
Trustee Stahl. Present. Trustee DeRocher's here, also Director Whitmer. And
Duncan.
Not Jackie.
Jackie's absent.
Jackie's absent, wow.
Is she just gonna listen to the recording? Yes.
Okay, and also not present are Trustee Lizon and Trustee Richardson.
And then I will say that staff who are attending virtually are Jamie Perkich, Kathy Gatus, and Mary Kelly Merkins.
And also here is Duncan. Welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and onto the agenda approval. I am assuming we don't need a closed session?
I see we approve remote attendance and participation. Do we need?
We don't have any requests for that.
Okay,
We can skip that.
so passing that on.
So we're gonna skip approval of remote attendance. Oh, wait, we don't see that. And then we are going to take off the closed session, so 19 and 20. Any other changes that we need to consider? No? All right, can I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Okay, that was approved by trustees, or
Moved.
moved by trustee Stoll and approved.
Seconded?
Seconded by trustee Pika. And this is a roll call vote, yes?
All those, it's a voice.
It's a voice. Oh, it's a voice. vote. No money. Sorry. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And trustee Richardson joined us at 7:03. All right. Welcome, Jill. It's nice to see you. Hello. Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you in a really long time. All right, we are moving on to presentations. Doesn't look like we have any.
We have no presentations tonight.
About public comments.
One last time. No public comments unless. No.
Okay. Any correspondence? No. Well, other than these lovely little Valentines here.
That was very nice. Very nice.
All right, then we're going to move on to the consent agenda, and it's a nice long one. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I got my beverage to
Okay.
be hydrated. Okay. Item number A, approved minutes of the January 19th, 2022 regular board meeting. B, receive and file financial report for January. C, approved budgeted PLA conference expenditures of up to $2,500 for trustee Richardson. Item number D, release closed session minutes from the following regular board meetings: April 18th, 2007, number 3, May 16th, 2007, number 1, January 16th, 2008, December 17th, 2008, number 1, January 20th, 2010, February 17th, 2010, number 1, April 21st, 2010, number 2, March 16th, 2011, May 18th, 2011, March 21st, 2012, number 2, June 20th, 2012, May 15th, 2013, number 2, May 21st, 2014, May 27th, 2015, number 2, May 18th, 2016, April 19th, 2017, April 18th, 2018, April 17th, 2019, and release closed session minutes from the following special board meetings: April 30th, 2008, and April 25th, 2009, and release closed session minutes from the following personnel committee meetings: April 11th, 2007, May 9th, 2007, May 6th, 2008, April 26, 2010, June 7, 2012, May 15, 2013, and May 19, 2015.
You practiced all day. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Secretary Stoll, for reading that. So now we are going to, well, you guys are really busy. We are going to go ahead and do a roll call vote. You need a motion first.
I move we accept the consent agenda as read.
I second.
Wonderful. The motion was made by trustee Warren and seconded by trustee Radzika. And so I'm going to do a
Roll call.
roll call vote. Trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
Actually, we probably should
Abstain.
abstain.
Okay. Abstain.
You can abstain
anyway, Rachel. Absolutely.
Trustee Radzika.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll.
Aye.
And trustee DeRosa votes aye. Motion carries. Moving on to,
I just thought we had declared earlier, we didn't have to do that anymore. Abstain. But I could be thinking of something else.
I think it might have been for minutes,
Okay.
I think so too, but I'm not sure about expenditures.
I don't know, it's kind of a substantial expenditure. It's fine.
It is. If you guys feel that that's appropriate, then I'll leave that up.
I would think that she would want to abstain.
I don't care. I just-
Do you want to vote? Go ahead.
And then she would abstain, so she's obviously
Well, the
wasn't.
majority passed it.
Yes.
Nobody.
All right. We're going on to the regular agenda.
I move that we pay invoices in the amount of $49,516.80 for the period of January 20 through February 16, 2022, including electronic payments and checks numbers 8642 through 8685, checks number 8651, 8652, and 8655 are voided. No wonder Joseph.
I second.
The
I second.
motion was made by trustee Pika and seconded by trustee Stoll. This is a roll call vote. Trustee Pika.
Aye.
Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
Trustee Radzika. Aye. Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll.
Aye.
And trustee DeRosa votes aye. Motion carries.
I'd simply already completely forgotten I was involved in that one.
All right.
I move that we transfer $125,000 from commercial checking account to our operating checking account.
I'll second that.
All right. So the motion was made by trustee Pika and seconded by trustee Warren. Roll call vote again. Trustee Stoll.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Radzika.
Aye.
Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
Trustee Pika.
Aye.
And trustee DeRosa votes aye. Motion carries. All right, now we don't have any unfinished business, so new business. This is on page 23 of your packets. And this is the revisions to the employee handbook. Sandy, you want to take the discussion away here?
Sure, I would just say, last month I brought up the fact that our unpaid leave of absence policy had a provision in it that meant individuals who were not employed by the library for at least 1 year were unable to take an unpaid leave of absence in the case of a family member themselves becoming ill. And we didn't want to, it's not how we wanted to do business. We recognize that everybody has situations where they need time off from work. And as I was working through that policy and trying to revise it, a light bulb went off in my head that said, oh, what we're really trying to accomplish here is we're really trying to give every employee, regardless of how long they've been employed by the library or how many hours they've worked, we want to give them access to the provisions of the Family and Medical Leave Act, which is up to 12 weeks of leave from your job. So what my recommendation is tonight is to basically eliminate that unpaid leave of absence policy in favor of opening up FMLA to our entire staff. I do think it makes sense. I think it's the right thing to do. So the proposed policy is here. I've highlighted a few things that really the substantial changes to this policy over our existing policy. We used a sample policy from HR Source, which is formerly the Association of Illinois, or the Association of Illinois. They have HR attorneys on staff, so I know that this language is appropriate.
You could tell.
Yes.
Honestly, I said that.
This is not a policy that I would.
No
like to try.
offense, Sandy, but
I
I was
know.
just like, wow.
So I would, at that point, just open it up so if anybody has any questions. I did know that there is definitely a budgetary impact for
Yes.
this, but it's not something that we can predict or project or know what's going to happen. So I will consider that when we're budgeting for the next fiscal year, that we may add some funds to each department's salary line to offset what might possibly happen. It wouldn't be 100% funding, but we put a little extra in our budget to cover a little bit in case this happens. Yes. Any questions or concerns?
The only question I had was regarding the notice of the one highlighted part. So, I mean, I guess, wouldn't we trust the employees to necessarily do that? I mean, and how would you determine whether or not it disrupted the, I mean, would you not say, sorry, you can't have that time? It's on about 25, like towards the bottom of the page. I just, I don't know, I got, it's just that, so as not to unduly disrupt, I mean, how would you use that if somebody, you know, I mean, is there a busy?
I'm sorry,
time
where
or-
are you, Heather?
Page
Oh,
25,
I'm
yeah.
on 25 too, and I have no idea.
notice of leave.
You're asking about the statement that when the leave is needed for planned medical
Right.
treatment, employees must attempt to schedule treatment so as not to unduly disrupt library.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it means schedule, their
so
work
here's-
schedules.
Yeah, so here's an example, okay, if you're listening, children's librarians, I am not picking on you, I'm just using you as a perfect example of this. Would be a youth services librarian who has a weekly story time. Let's just pretend it's on Monday morning. We would ask that person to try to avoid scheduling medical appointments, if possible, on Monday morning, so that that employee can continue, you know, that kind of critical part of their job. If that wasn't possible, you know, fine, but we would ask that they try to schedule around those types of appointments. That's an example.
I think that's very
And
reasonable.
that really it's for, those types of things are for what's called intermittent leave,
Right.
where the person is not off continuously for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's that they may need appointments for treatment or follow-up appointments. But certainly we understand that sometimes that's not always possible either, and then we make other plans to work around. Does that help?
Well, yeah, I guess it's just that with it falling under the FMLA, to me, that's always like they're taking the full 12 weeks.
No.
So this is also covering sort of sick time then.
So it has to be a certified serious illness, either for the employee or for
Family.
covered family members. And so it can be a continuous leave of absence, you know, a certain number of days or a certain number of weeks continuously, or there is something called intermittent leave,
Mhm.
which they can take time off when they need it. So perhaps someone has, suffers from migraine headaches. They are not going to need time off for 3 weeks or 12 weeks.
Yeah.
They will have days
Mhm.
that just come up that they're not able to work. So that's intermittent leave. And it's the same, it's 12 weeks of time,
Right.
but
okay.
that intermittent leave can be spread out then over.
That part I understand. It's kind of like, I was just thinking FMLA is the block of time, and that's why I was questioning, like, you know, like, that, but.
Yeah, so it's the 12 weeks, if 12 weeks is the block of time, but it can be taken in those daily or even
Could take it all
hourly
year.
increments.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a very generous and forward-looking type of wording and outlining of benefits.
Thank you. We're trying.
And I was wondering if there was going to, since you're talking about additional funds, if you're going to put a kind of a placeholder line in the financials, so that we don't forget that, and that maybe it could be an annotation if any is taken, so that we might have a fuller grasp on how much seems to be going out, and if there's any seasonality to it.
I
Are
can,
you saying we should put a line item in the budget?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know if we can do that since the budget's already been passed, but I mean, a note or a placeholder entry.
so I will say that, and this is where maybe the budget impact is not going to be for the person taking the time off, because our staff have paid time off and sick leave. So that's already there, and this whole 12 weeks, we're not saying that this whole 12 weeks will be paid. The only part of it that will be paid time off is the time that an employee already has saved in their sick leave or annual leave or paid time off thing. The budgetary impact that I was referring to, and it probably wasn't exactly clear, was for bringing somebody in to fill in for the critical task that that person is not here to do.
Right, but I think that that would be a good thing to have a line so that it is seen, and that if you fill it, because you have to get a temporary person in, then it would be an annotation to say, okay, we spent, I don't know, X dollars over a period of a week and a half in May.
Okay, we can try to see if we can do that, and I can certainly try to set it up as a note in the budget. It's a complex thing in our payroll system.
Say, unless I'm not thinking through it clearly, wouldn't the payment part of it be almost a wash? Because we would already have that
It may
period
be.
of time
That's
scheduled.
why, but
to be-
she's only talking about a little bit of a bumper.
Right,
because-
so we're probably not talking about a significant monetary, budgetary amount.
Well, you have to remember that our full-time employees, our policy allows them to accrue sick leave up to a full year. So I right now have almost 9 months of sick leave on the books. If I had to take a 12-week leave of absence,
That would definitely be.
you would be paying me my sick pay for the entire 12 weeks. And I think you would probably have to bring somebody in.
else. Okay.
So there is, it's not huge, but there's a possibility there would be a budgetary.
We just
That
have
would be so hard to plan for it.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
that's her
That's
point.
why I'm suggesting, just, I mean, I put 5 to 10% here, it might just be 2%.
That's just an example.
Yeah,
We just have to pray everybody's still.
that's correct, that is correct.
That's what everybody wants.
And now that we're prepared for it, once we're prepared for it, we'll be good.
Okay, we actually didn't start this with a motion. I would like to entertain a motion for this change.
I move that we approve revisions to employee handbook, revise section 5.10, family medical leave of absence, and
I second.
eliminate section 5.11, unpaid leave of absence.
I second.
Okay, that was a motion made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Rozika. Is there any further discussion? And because this is a policy change, this is a roll call. Aye. All right. Trustee Warren,
Aye.
trustee Stoll,
Right?
trustee Pika. Aye. Trustee Richardson.
Aye.
Trustee Rozika.
Aye.
Trustee DeRosa votes aye. Motion passes, and great thinking on your part, Sandy. All right, moving on to COVID-19 mitigation program.
Would you advise us of any feedback you received from
I will.
employees?
I will.
Sorry.
No worries. All right, Is one of these about, here we go, green ones, green
Yes,
and
the
yellow.
green sheet in front of you. Has information on it.
Or do we need the motion first?
I don't know that there's really any action to be taken here.
Okay.
I put that there in case you decided you wanted to take action on something.
So will this notice, I guess, protocols from February 28th, front doors website?
Yes, this is posted at both of our entrances,
Okay,
and it is also linked in the policy section of our website. If this is the direction that we end up going, of course, there will be notification posted on the website, so it's visible, and the signage at our doors. Right now, there's a masks required signage that will be updated to say mask recommended. So there, this will be communicated, and I expect, Kathy could jump in here if she wants to. I would expect that we would probably have a special edition of the library e-news.
or at very worst on Wednesday, because the 28th is Tuesday,
That's true.
so Wednesday's
Right,
email blast.
right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions about this or want me to review anything?
I do have a question. Were any other libraries affected as was St. Charles that you know of within your network that you correspond with?
Not to the extent that St. Charles was in there.
Thank you.
So this was consistent with what, say, the Park District and the city is doing and
Who knows what the city's doing?
Yes.
Not the city of Warrenville, city of Chicago.
Oh, both the city of Warrenville and the Park District board meeting is tomorrow evening.
Okay.
But my discussions with them seem to indicate that they were also going to go to the masks recommended model if the indoor mask mandate is lifted.
Will we continue to provide masks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Good question.
what will the employees be expected to
The employees will be expected, they're not going to be required to wear a mask, so it will be their option. I've told all of them, not all of them, but whoever asked me that question, I've told them that they can wear a mask as long as they like. You know, I know that some of our employees have family members at home who are immunocompromised. And frankly, we don't know who's watching at our doors, so most of us will continue to wear a mask. And that's perfectly acceptable.
I agree.
But to the extent that employees who choose not to wear a mask, they will be asked to have a mask on their person at all times. So that if they happen to be approaching a patron or another staff person, and they notice that that person is wearing a mask, it's on the unmasked staff member, it's their responsibility to either just automatically mask up, because it's obvious the other person is more comfortable with that, or to just ask the other person, I have a mask, would you be more comfortable if I wear the mask around you? And that's what we did for that very brief period last year where we didn't have a mask mandate, and that seemed to work very well. Again, very grateful to work with us staff who are empathetic and kind and understanding. That's really good. Yep. Very good.
Well
Okay.
thought out. Do we need to vote?
Looks like we don't need to take any action.
I don't think you need to vote. As long as you're okay. Seems reasonable to everyone here. This is the direction that, as of today,
Yes, I was
we're
just gonna
planning
say.
to go. We still
Who
have,
knows?
10 days to go. We don't know what's gonna change in between, but this is the plan that we have in place. And I did put up, I have a Q&A document up, so the staff, I know that there will be lots of questions about this change. And what's really great is that we know in advance that this is coming. It's not like, hey, we announced today that it's gonna happen Friday. And we just have a couple of days to make this change. So staff, I'm sure, will be asking lots of questions on that document, and that will just help us create better procedures and process.
Just be thankful we're not the city of Chicago. Just saying, I'm just saying.
So we're not going to be voting on this mask?
I don't think you need to.
because it says action.
I did put that there in case you wanted to take action in some way, but the policy that we have in place, actually, the library board has authorized the director
It's just gonna say-
to implement these protocols. So there's not officially any action I would say to be taken if you're in agreement with that, that this is appropriate.
I agree.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
I agree with
moving
that.
on to the director's report on page 30. Lots going on, that's for sure. Hey, Sandy, we've been involved with Lyra before, right? We've used them before.
We have not, That's one of
I
the,
think we have.
that's one of the points I have in here. We are involved with something called Limerick.
All right.
They're close, it's
Okay.
close. So Limerick is the insurance cooperative for our health insurance
Okay.
and
that's
unemployment.
right.
Right. So Lyra is for property liability
Right,
insurance,
right.
umbrella, that sort of thing. So I've got all the information I need. Hope to get that submitted to them by the end of this week.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cooperative.
Yes.
things like that.
Yes, and I was impressed in my initial discussions with them. They are very proactive about training, resources. They are partly self-insured, so they have a pool of money. And I think they voted or chose within the last 6 months, they're actually purchasing meters for water. Water meters for like mechanical areas, so that there's notification if there is a leak of water in the building.
Nice.
So I was impressed that they're that proactive. And it's the power of being in a group. So that was one thing I wanted to point out to everyone. I also wanted to note, of course, that Pat Stockner, the library district's first director, passed away last month. Again, I told her family that she and the boards at that time and the staff really set this library up for success. And I fully believe that had the right people not been here at that time, we would be in a really different situation. And then they've just continued. They set a really good foundation for us. So we appreciate
Her
that.
formal picture is beautiful.
It was.
Whoever wrote that did a
Yeah.
Great job.
It was wonderful.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look, the community, came from the. community.
I had
Yeah.
coffees and set up programs for Ed Stettner, so she can go to people's homes to talk about the library.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So
I remember working
Yeah.
with her on that.
it started with, I said here, it started with a demonstration grant, which gave them funding for 2 years just to demonstrate to the community what it would be like to have an established and supported library. So
I'm just so surprised it took until 1977 to have a library.
Mhm.
I mean, this town's been around a long time.
Right.
So that's really wonderful that that happened.
Yeah. At the very bottom, of page 30, you'll notice that I had some typos in my dates for Thanksgiving. I didn't think that was a big deal, but I thought you should know. And then there are 2 things that are not on this list. I feel like there's a third, but I know for sure there are. Oh, there are 3 things. One is that next month, and I think this is probably in the president's report, the personnel committee will be distributing my self-evaluation, so I'll be working on writing that. And they will also be distributing the forms for all of you to complete. So the personnel committee is Rick and Jill. So if you want to let me know how I can support you in getting that off the ground, I'll pull together things. I love the documents ready, so hopefully together we'll figure out where we can go from there. That's number 1. Number 2, on our budget this year, we budgeted $10,000 to replace some doors at the library. Last year we talked about how heavy the front doors are. So Jackie reached out to Shales McNutt Construction, and Josh came out with 2 contractors. And so we have a price to replace both the exterior doors at this main entrance on Stafford, as well as the exterior doors on the lower level. And the total came to almost $18,500. Oh, yeah. So because that is more than is in our working budget, I'm not comfortable spending that money without the board's approval. So there's a second piece to this. So we will bring that, we may bring that back next month for you to consider. It probably needs to be done. We have money in our special reserve fund to do it. And we have enough budgeted for other projects that we could put off for another year. But more critically, the door that is at our delivery entrance or the staff entrance into the tech services area, that has over time, I don't know what, if it's moisture, if it's just heat, it has bulged to the point where it's difficult to close. And it's just not good anymore. So we are waiting for the proposal for that set of doors. That would be my priority if we choose to do one or the other. But we'll wait for that proposal, and I think we'll have that for you next month as well.
What would really be helpful, Sandy, is if you could get a reading from McNutt about whether this is the time to do those outer doors, if we would be better off waiting until materials are not so expensive. And I don't know if it's just the new normal would kind of just remain. I'd like to hear what they think. Because, I mean, if he says, let's wait 2 years and see what it looks like, it could be worse, but I'd like to hear what he projects. And I know it's really hard to know, but things have just gotten crazy. And I'm wondering if there's a sense that things are going to remain like this or if it's going to settle down.
I would think though that we need to have the service door replaced. no matter
Yes.
what.
Oh, I agree with that, but
Yeah, I wouldn't want to wait on that.
that price is very indicative, the $18,000 is very indicative of the crazy prices that are going on with everything.
Those doors are expensive.
So
Yes, I agree, but
And-
that's still a lot more than I expected.
and I will say that this front door, the way it was built, it's all part of that entire glass piece. So there is some, there are some challenges
Not just.
with this front one, yes, so. And it's replacing pretty much everything except for the automatic door opener. Everything, the push bars and.
So this is the one thing I'm still confused about with the doors, is, because I know we've talked about things for so long that to make it more easier access for handicapped, or people with strollers or whatever. Did we do that in the renovation, or is this?
Yeah, there's some push buttons.
We did.
Okay.
Prior to the 2017 renovation, there were, these doors at this entrance were not automated in any
Okay.
way.
Okay, that's what I was,
And we did install those automated.
okay.
Actually, I had so many books that I was returning day
Yeah.
before yesterday, I had to use the little push button because I couldn't open the door. I was like,
Helpful for people with arthritis.
yeah.
Yeah, and the doors
Not
that
to name
we're
any people.
proposing are not going to be the architectural, they're not the architectural fancy doors either. They will
Okay.
match basically the set of interior doors.
Well, if we could just get a kind of a read from them about
I'll have Jakey ask. reach out to
whether
them, yeah.
they think it's gonna settle down or just remain crazy.
And I think the biggest concern about those doors was the weight,
Yeah,
and I'm not convinced that the weight is really going to.
No.
The glass door will probably be just as heavy because of gauge of glass you need to use in an entrance door.
If you're
It's going to
pulling,
be much bigger.
yeah,
than
on the
this
way
one.
in, if you're pulling on the right-hand door, that's the door that has the automatic opener attached. So that's what, there is some
There's
resistance
resistance.
because of that.
That's more than just glass though, isn't it?
With the door, the new
The
door or
door.
the existing door?
Either one. It seems
existing
that,
door is wood.
The
the
existing
new
door is
door
wood
would
with a glass insert,
okay,
and the new door would be, I don't know if it's aluminum, yes. It's an aluminum door frame with glass.
but that'll be some kind of security glass, right?
They don't put entrance and exit doors in without security glass anymore.
Okay,
It's too dangerous.
well, you can't
All right,
even, you can't even replace
Tell us how
your own
big it is.
bathroom
No, the third one.
window glass with anything other than tempered glass, but I didn't know if this is gonna be some kind of mesh inside it, or Gorilla Glass, or bulletproof glass.
I'll have JP ask if it's tempered glass. I think this is like an initial estimate, they would still have to come back out and measure and get down. to
And I would
specifics.
think they might give you a couple options on the kind of glass, because tinted is gonna come into the picture
Right.
and everything else.
Right. Okay, the third thing I have to tell you is this, sometime between now and the next meeting, you will all be getting an email about your statement of economic interest. The legislature changed some of the statements of economic interest, some of the questions that will be asked. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
So I am going to reach out to our attorney, get advice from him regarding how that impacts all of you. There was an email, and the staff will have to do it. There was an email in the ILA, an email from ILA last week that talked about this. And basically, where it used to be, the question maybe used to be, do you have a business that interacts with a government entity? Now they are asking us to list assets. There are exclusions, like your personal home, your car, some of those things are excluded. But they're asking to list any assets that you own that are valued singly at $10,000 or more. So it is a little tricky. ILA says that their lobbyists, as well as lobbyists for other governmental organizations, said, hey, this is making it even harder for us to attract board members. We understand that we want to stay away from, unethical business dealings, but it's something that it could impact all of us in a negative way.
So is there anything that would be concerning about employment? Since I know that-
About employment,
Yeah.
there are questions about employment. I haven't had enough time to really dig into it. I would say the McLean County, probably their county clerk has developed a nice website with a lot of answers. She's got their sample form is posted. She has definitions of things. So I'm hoping that DuPage County will have something similar up soon, but in the meantime, I am going to try to reach out to the attorney to see if he can provide us with any specific advice.
You know, that was something.
And it's not that it's not that they're going to say you cannot be on the board. It's more of a disclosure of information. So, but the biggest change I noticed was the one about.
Okay. Let's see, I have a question about, under continuing ed professional development, you have something about Aspen catalog kickoff and assorted trainings. I am just, I'm like, what the heck is Aspen?
Yeah.
So I wanted to.
I saw it in Paul's stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So I have it highlighted in Paul's report that I wanted to pull out, and Paul right now is in, we have a couple of people who signed up for the Illinois Library Present Author program tonight, so he's in the computer lab with that. I did want to point out to you what Aspen is. So Aspen is a new version of our online catalog. So not the app, but the actual catalog when you go to the library website and search for an item on the website. So it
But
will
the
look,
one on the website, isn't that Swans?
Yeah.
Yes.
But Swan is
So-
the one, too.
I can give you the technical lowdown in library terms. The surface technical lowdown. We have a back-end system that's running everything, basically. It's a database. It runs everything. That is called Symphony. And you guys don't even know it's there. We don't even know it's there. And then the library staff have something called Workflows, which is our software on our computers that lets us do check-ins, check-outs, lets us do all the cataloging. Then the patrons see our catalog on our website. And the catalog right now uses software, it's called Enterprise. So we are going to move away from Enterprise into a new product called Aspen. And to the public, we're going to say old catalog, new catalog. We aren't even going to use the terms Enterprise and Aspen because
Nobody
to you guys, it's the old catalog and the new catalog. So that new catalog is going to debut to the public March, I think, 14th. That's a Monday. It is actually already up and running. And we are supposed to be using it, so we know how to teach everyone else how to use it. It's there, but Paul has a committee pulled together that they'll be using. They'll be upgrading it a little bit, customizing it for our library and our users.
So
So
is
that's what they're working on.
On the user end, is the catalog gonna look a little different then?
It will look a little different,
A lot different?
not a lot different.
Okay.
I think all of you could probably figure it out, but I have asked Paul. I have asked Paul, and he's agreed that next month he will do a little bit of a demonstration for you and highlight some of the key pieces that are more helpful. But there's,
Okay. Just for my own curiosity, in that whole back end discussion you just gave us,
yes,
where does Circe Dynex fit?
Circe Dynex is the company.
So I'm like, where did that go?
Good job, though. I'm impressed. Okay, so Circe Dynex is the company that provides Symphony workflows and enterprise.
Okay, but not Aspen.
But not Aspen. Aspen is from a company called Bywater Solutions. I
Okay,
don't expect you to remember that, but
well, I'll tell you what.
Out of town.
The only
So-
reason I remember Circe Dynex is because it comes up on the budget all the
yes, true, writing checks.
time. So,
We don't have them too much anymore because Swan's taking care of that piece of the puzzle for us, but, yes, so thank you for asking that, because that was something I was like, I don't even think you're gonna know what this Aspen is.
I was like, Aspen, we have a new catalog, great.
So I prepared for
I
that.
had the
It's a-
same question.
And all I can say is, thank goodness, Swan didn't make this change when we were joining Swan last year, because it was nice. We already used Enterprise as our catalog in the old system. Enterprise was in the new system, and now we've had like a full year to wait before we tackle this new thing. So
So is this something that we had to do because of Swan, or is this something?
yes, this is, everyone in Swan is moving to this new
Oh, I see.
catalog. They did a pilot probably 18 months ago and did some testing to find out whether it was more usable than the current system, if there were better features, more. One thing I think with this is that each library has the opportunity to customize it a little bit more to their liking.
Well, here I was thinking somebody was going to Aspen to test or something.
No. It definitely looks a little bit different though. You'll notice the differences.
I just wanted to say on page 35, this little part here about Diana
I have
Ingram is
that one
working with
too.
Scarce to bring books to the local laundromat. I am so happy about that.
That's wonderful.
You called it something, you called it books and laundry or
I don't know what
something.
you called it.
It had a kitschy name.
Library at the laundromat? No,
Yeah.
that's something, but
I love the fact that we're partnering to do with Scarce. I love Scarce. And I love the fact that we're working with them to bring books to the laundromat that people could just take home and not have to worry about checking out, just get books in people's hands.
Well, the other thing is,
So
I think
happy
it's just
about
one more way, it's sort of a gentle step from, the laundromat. to
Literacy
coming
at
to
the
laundry.
laundromat, Diana says. on
that's it, yeah.
the-
Is she typing it somewhere?
She is.
Yeah, it's right in the middle
She's
of
on
the
the
screen.
chat.
Great.
Thank you, Diana. I love it.
And there's appropriate signing that references the library with this.
I do not know if that's the case or not. Diana, are you able to chat? And let us know if there is any signage there that the library is involved in that? No,
She can't chat.
I don't know. if
No,
it's
you can't chat or no? No to both, okay.
That's too bad. because there's Potential there.
All right, so, yeah, so that is something we can maybe consider. I don't know. Anyway,
So I had a question sort of regarding the weather, that's weather related. So I know that this year we had one point that we had an ice storm. And where it wasn't snow, do we have somebody that comes and salts it, or is that like up to Lee that go out there and the salted peanut.
So I don't know if all of you on the call could hear that. Heather asked about what the situation is with salting our walks and our parking lots. So we do have actually a new contractor this year,
Okay.
and they do shovel our walks, I believe after 1 inch of snow, and they will also come and put salt down.
Okay,
So-
so even if it's just ice versus snow.
Yes, they will do that. However, there are times that they aren't here. You know, they're not exclusively
Right,
our
oh, yeah,
contractor.
no.
So there may be times that we as staff have to go out. I shoveled, I know Jamie has put salt out. So, and there was some confusion one weekend. They didn't think we were open on Sunday, so we've straightened out that, the timing. So we've had some bumps that we would with any new contractor, but hopefully that's been resolved. And I did send, there was one time, they won't plow wherever there are cars, because of course they don't want to damage our vehicles. And they skipped this whole lot next to our library because there were cars parked there that we believe probably were the residents of Stafford Place. So I did send them just a letter, I tried to be kind, and just ask for their help that when it does snow, if they could just not park their cars in those spaces so that our contractor can clear them up. And I mean, I know there's something coming tonight, but knock on wood, I feel that we've been pretty fortunate this year when it comes to snow. Yeah. Yes, so to answer your question, yes, we have a contractor, but sometimes we get to take care of it ourselves.
I just didn't know if that was included. 'Cause I mean, I know obviously
Yes.
any snowstorm, but I'm like, when it seems like it's ice or just, rain turning to ice.
And we can call them out, like if they haven't showed up, we sometimes do call them and say, hey, when you get a chance. We need
And they're
you.
generally pretty good about recommending, because they watch the weather just like we do. And they will say, we should ice now or salt now because this is gonna continue to get worse.
Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, I wasn't aware, Jamie, thank you, Jamie, for your report, and I wasn't aware of all the record-breaking deliveries that were taking place. It sounds like it was quite the marathon, yeah. So thank you to the employees and to you, Jamie, for organizing and getting that taken care of.
And to Jamie's staff, I'm so thrilled to see the curbside pickups continue. And also, I think it's wonderful that the cross-training or projects are being initiated. We have quite a few things going on there, and I think that's great. I'm glad the staff is anxious too.
And 14 new resident cards.
Yep.
Woo!
And I would say to Barbara's point about the number of deliveries that our staff are handling, if you look back to page 31, I know this has gotten smaller print every month as we add it, but we now have a full 12 months in Swan. So you can actually look at our stats from January of 2021 compared to January 2022. And if you look in the interlibrary loan section, which is kind of the third set down, it shows that this year we received 2,100 items from Swan Libraries in January. Last year was only like 1,400 items. So you can see that there's a huge use of the Swan resources and the sharing. We sent 2,200 items out in January, 2,200 of our items. And last year was only 1,400 items. Is that right? Okay. So it's
Are your
definitely
windows up?
having an impact.
And staff is, I can say in the report, but it's not neglecting other things on a normal basis.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I will also point out in Jamie's report,
The wage are gonna be like 40 miles an hour.
Jamie has hired, yay, a new member services specialist.
Yay, I got to meet it.
Jorge. So he is settling in, learning a lot, filling his brain with all the things you need to know to be a great member services specialist. And we did lose Iman Ali. He resigned from his position. Iman is a senior in college this year, and he got a job that is more aligned with what
He's a
his
senior in college or high school?
college, I believe. Jamie, I'm gonna call Jamie, not that it really
I
matters.
think it's high school.
But no.
No?
No,
Jamie,
it's definitely college because I can remember when we celebrated his high school graduation.
Such a nice young man.
I
I believe he's a senior this year.
think so. I know he was just cruising through college.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he has a position that's more aligned with what his professional goals are
Sandy,
ultimately.
may not be appropriate, but I'll ask anyway, is the new hire bilingual?
Yes.
Very good.
he is. We are excited about that as well.
All right, any other comments on department head reports? I already told Kathy, I thought the reading matters were great this month. Thanks again, Kathy. Work on that, and everybody. I know
You're
it's
welcome.
Okay. All right, moving on then. We have president's report. That's basically that next month is our meetings on March 16th. And so treasurer's report, our treasurer's not here. But I think Sandy can kind of tell us.
Everything was good.
Would you like to hear?
There are no surprises. I would just say that. Everything is accurate.
Good. And Heather, do you have a secretary's report?
Everything looks good.
Good. We don't have a committee report this month. We probably will next month. And any trustee comments? I think that Rick brought something to share.
Yeah, so Rick brought an article from the Daily Herald about how DuPage communities are supporting pollinators. As you know, that we joined the DuPage Monarch Project.
That's
Yeah,
the continuation that.
I see it now, yes. So did you actually tape it here?
I
Thank you. I
did,
thought I was
yes.
gonna lose it. I'm like, I can't lose that. So these are some ideas that we can look at to see if there's anything here that we can draw upon. And great news, I believe that Warrenville and Bloom actually has joined the project as well.
Excellent.
So we are the only community that has a library district. In DuPage Monarch.
More than a trifecta.
We have, yes. Yes, so thank you, Rick.
Sure.
Well, we've got some
Do you
pretty
want-
active people here in Warrenville.
Do you want me to continue trying to get those wildflower seeds out of DuPage County? How was that received?
It was received very well. So when the time comes, I don't know when that will be, that they will have those to distribute. But if you are willing to do that, that would be great.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Okay, any other trustee comments?
I thought that was nice that Duncan attended the meeting. I don't think I've ever actually met him. I just don't remember meeting him. But how is he doing taking Cynthia's place? Good.
He is, you know what, Cynthia's shoes are big to fill. We don't expect him to fill them entirely, so we're taking it slow, but he is doing excellent. I meet
Good.
with him every week
This report
Um,
was very well
to
done.
answer questions, right, well, Cynthia trained him very well. So there are questions, sometimes I don't have the answers and we figure it out together, but I feel that he is feeling a little more stable and
Good.
solidly on the ground with things, so.
I think one of the good things he's doing is he's setting up those calendars or reminders about things like passwords, and he's got a calendar set up for that, but it's very helpful, because then you don't forget to
And
change.
Cynthia settled fine in Florida.
Cynthia settled fine, I think we heard from her maybe 2 weeks ago that she's accepted a position
She
in
did.
Florida, so yes, so she.
Good.
I don't know that she started, not at a library. She learned that libraries in Florida are not as generous as libraries.
Oh.
But I think she's found a position that's gonna fit her very well. It's in,
Good.
I believe it's in some type of support role
Also
for
great at that.
customers, so we all know how great she was at helping us when things came up and explaining things, so I think it will be a great position for her.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't have any further items for information or discussion, so we're on our last agenda item.
I move. to adjourn.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Motion
And
carried.
whoever the library.
7:55.
Yeah, thank you
Kudos
to the party peeps.
To the party.